A very good evening to you, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. It is 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours local time here in Kuwait City, Kuwait. Today, we are going to be taking a look at a beta preview of the Toliss A320 CEO or current engine option. This is going to be an add-on to the A320 by Toliss. If you have already the A320 Neo, the add-on is going to cost you $29.95. And this comes with two engine variants, the IAE and the CFM engines. So today, we are going to be taking a look at the IAE engines. I will show you in flight. We can switch actually the engines, which is pretty cool. You can do it on the flight, but first, let's take a look at the aircraft from the visual perspective. I think from the nothing really has changed in terms of the visual fidelity of the add-on. This is an engine upgrade, and it's not just the engine, so it's not just a visual change, but the performance, the fuel system, everything behaves exactly like the CEO in terms of the consumption, the engine performance, takeoff speeds, landing, everything really changes with this add-on that you can add. So this is going to work exactly like your Neo add-on worked, but I really like the IAE engines. I think they look a little bit different than, the regular engines that we're accustomed to. They are kind of long and they look really nice. You can see the rotation there from the wind. Let's take a closer look here. There you go. And you can see the blades are rotating from the winds here at Pearson International in Canada. And that brings us to our flight today. We are going to be leaving Leicester Pearson International in Toronto, Canada. We're going to depart runway 15 left through the Capture 3 departure. And about an hour later, we're going to arrive at John F. Kennedy Airport in the US of A, arriving at runway 04 right through the Egan 1 arrival. We are going to be cruising today at 37,000 feet. I expect no turbulence, should be fine, but just in case, buckle up, guys, and grab that cup of coffee and enjoy the flight. So let's head over to the cockpit and let's take a look here. So the cockpit, again, hasn't really changed. You can see that the visual fidelity is pretty good when it comes to the A320, unlike some of the other. Can I hear the? Yeah, we can hear it. Okay, I think we need to maybe increase the sounds a little bit here of the interior. So let me go to the. Let's see here. Where do I sound add-ons? Okay. So we're going to add just a little bit more sound here. If that's too loud for you guys, then we can bring it down. But from the visual perspective, this is pretty much the A320. So if you have the A320, this is what you're going to get. I find the texture to be, just a tad too dark for an Airbus. But nonetheless, I think it looks really good. The overhead panel here looks really, really good. The texturing and the details are quite nice in this model, but I think the colors are maybe not exactly what they should be. The central pedestal here looks pretty good, but this part here, I think you can see the difference, but in the color. But I think Airbus looks a little bit different in terms of the colors, but nothing to complain about. A really high fidelity cockpit, nice textures. And let's take a look here. They still haven't modeled this to check the oxygen. So we are going to go ahead and do our normal checks. We are starting, of course, from cold and dark. And just if you're wondering, if you go to the Toliss aircraft and you go to the settings here, so nothing has changed here. If you go to the startup scenario, no, beg your pardon, the configuration. So here you have the engine type. I've set this to auto, and you can actually select whatever engines you want. So you've got, these are the Neo engines, and then these are the current engine options, the IAE and the CFM engines. So currently for this particular livery, it's got the IAE engines. So all is good here. All right, let's start with our pre-flight check. Parking brake is set, and the engine mode selector in normal. Both engine switches are in the off position, and the thrust lever are in idle detent. The landing gear is down. All the switches here are on normal, and we're going to move here to the overhead panel, and we're going to make sure that the wipers are off on both sides. Moving up here, we're going to make sure we have more than 25 volts of battery, and then we're going to turn on battery 1, battery 2, and external power. Now, this sounds is something I believe needs work. The default sounds of the aircraft are not bad. Ooh, we have a 5-alarm fire just coming in with $10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Just wanted to thank you for all your content for the flight sim community. Well, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. That's very generous and very kind of you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so the sounds are not bad. They're the default. If you have any Toliss aircraft, these are the default sounds. So nothing. We need definitely a sound pack for this, for sure. But let's go ahead and do the ground control. And then we're going to go here to the ADIRS. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. We'll put this on SDS. And moving down here, we're going to put the strobe on auto. And the nav lights are on. Fasten seatbelt, non-smoking signs, and emergency lights are all armed. And moving up here, we're going to turn on the fuel pumps. And we're going to perform the engine 1 fire test, the APU fire test, and the engine 2 fire test. Perfect. Everything checks good here, and we are through. Perfect. Next, we are going to check the oxygen, but we don't. Actually, this is not modeled. So if you click this, it actually brings in it puts the oxygen mask on. So we're going to brighten up our displays here a little bit, just for better visibility, and we'll do the same here on the McDo. Let's see here. Strange. I've lost one of the options on my streaming, on Stream Deck. Okay, so upper ECAM, lower ECAM, very nice lighting in the aircraft, without a doubt. And there we go, and we are going to, there we go. Excellent, so everything is good here. Now, a quick check here. Again, we're going to make sure that the radios are on, and we have VHF 1 and 2 operational. The weather radar is off. Coming here to the first officer side, the radios are on. We have this on VHF 2, and the transponder is on standby. This is on auto, and everything is good here. And the alternate gear is stowed. So we are good here. Excellent. Now we're going to go to the McDo. I'm going to bring this up and see if we can make this any bigger. Looks like we cannot. All right. Well, anyway, we are going to verify our engines. So the diff strip sequence for this, we are going to make sure we have the right engines, and that the active database is until October 1st. So we're good there. And next we're going to go to data init. We're going to request the data from SimBrief, and this should populate everything. I love the integration with SimBrief that they have, because it really just populates everything. It really reduces the workload, and it starts here first, and then it grabs the rest of the information and populates. So we are Airbus Transport. This is the ICO for the Airbus Transport, normally the Beluga, but that's okay. 37,000 feet, and let's go ahead and clear that. And if we go to init Bravo, you'll see that it has already picked up all the information for us there, which is pretty cool. Okay, perfect. Next, we are going to go to the flight plan, and we're going to select our departure. For this, we're going to bring up Navigraph charts, and we'll put this here on the side, and we'll bring Navigraph charts right there. Perfect. All right, we are departing runway 15 left through the Kepta 3, which is right here, Kepta 3, and it's going to be the Bompa transition. So we're going to select that, and we're going to insert, and it looks like we have a discontinuity here. We are going to, that's a manual, so normally it's vectors from the ATC, but I'm going to go ahead and clear that, and we're going to clear that as well, and we're going to say insert. And next we are going to go to our arrival airport, which is John F. Kennedy. For John F. Kennedy today, we are using Nimbus rendition of John F. Kennedy for X-Plane 12. We're going to select our arrival, and the arrival is 04 right, which is this one here, and it's through the Egan 1 arrival. And there is no transition, so we're just going to go to insert, and now we have the flight plan. We're just going to come here, we're going to pop this out, and let's see if I can bring it over here. We're going to switch this to plan, and we're going to cycle through our flight plan just to make sure everything looks good. And let's see here, we have another manual. This one we're going to leave, and we'll deal with it later once we arrive into JFK. So let me just bring this down here a little bit. All right, so we go there, LGA, manual. All right, so we're going to go that way and then come back to ZTAL. Okay, perfect. See, where does this look like from LGA? Okay, and then we go to ZTAL. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, all right, so we are going to put this here on flight plan, and we can remove that now. We'll put this back on ARC, and now we're going to go to the performance. First, let's go to the progress page, and we're just going to key in, we're not going to start, we'll just go ahead and put 04, so KJFK, and then 04 right is our runway, and we're just going to update about 318 nautical miles from here, so very short flight, and everything here looks good to me. We're going to go to the perf page, and now we're going to grab the data from SimBrief. So we're going to, again, select the data here. Let's go ahead and update our altitude here to 37,000 feet. And we are going to start the APU. Takeoff data received. We are going to do a flex takeoff, and we're going to insert. And now we have our speeds, 142, 142, and 144, flaps 1. And the trim is 0.6 up. Okay, perfect. Transition altitude is 18,000, and everything here is now ready. Okay, let's go ahead and start the APU. Perfect. And in the meantime, let's come to the second MCDU. We'll put this on perf, and everything here is set. We're going to click here and start this clock. And everything else is in tip-top shape. There we go. You can see that the doors are automatically closed. See the nav lights. Looks really, really good. I love the Airbus by Toliss. I think they really do a very good job when it comes to the system simulation and the fidelity of the flight model. And it's a company that I have a lot of respect for, and I really like the guys over at Toliss. By the way, your circuit breakers here are operational, so these actually work. So you can simulate, any sort of failure, in addition to the failures that you can load from within the electronic flight bag. So a lot of things. Maybe we'll do an engine fire on our way today to JFK, just to kind of spice things up a little bit. If you guys like, we can definitely do that. How many of you have spent thousands of dollars on X-Plane add-ons over the years? Well, I raise my hand. I'm definitely one. Mr. Valero, welcome aboard. HD Sim, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Thordor, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here, and thank you very much for your support. Really, really appreciate it. Not very pleased with their update fee. I own the Toliss airplane for X-Plane 12. Well, we'll talk a little about that once we are up in the air. Hi, Q8. I spent way too much. Yeah, likewise. All right, so alignment is in 1 minute. Let's go ahead and turn on the APU bleed. And now we can turn off external power. And we're going to come down here to the... all right, so first we're going to arm all doors and cross-check. And then we're going to go to the mechanic, and we're going to say remove external power and remove the chocks. Okay, so this is actually the order. If you remove the chocks first, you'll not be able to remove the external power until you release the brakes. So make sure you do it in this order. Okay, so we now just waiting for the alignment, which will complete in 1 minute. So let's say align IRS here. Just to think that, okay. One other thing we need to do is we need to grab our altimeter real quick here at Lester Pearson International, which is 3030. So we are going to set that to 30 and 30 here as well. All right, and we have alignment, and we can now push back to runway 15 left. So let's go ahead and go better pushback.
Ground to cockpit.
And
please show me where you want to
go. We are going to delete that one, and we are going to, let's see. We want to face, we were going to bring the aircraft here. Let's see, that's a bit of a steep turn, but that's okay. That's what we want.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay. The tow is driving up, and in just a second here, we'll be able to hear the engine sounds as we start them. How are you doing, Stan? You haven't been on streams for a while. I hope you are well, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. Hello, George. Yeah, the Wing MCDU is pretty good. All right. So all is good here, and we are now getting towed. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn on our beacon lights. And now we're good.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Very nice clouds in X-Plane. Look at that, guys. Wow. Very, very nice. Yeah. Look at the clouds in the distance there. A very nice scene here indeed. Okay. It's taking him a little bit of time. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, here we go, guys.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And here's our clearance to start the engines. So we're going to go engine start switch to ignition start. And we wait there, and engine number 2 is coming up. Maybe the engine sounds a bit too low. Here, check. Oh, everything's good here. There we go. We'll listen. We'll have a listen to the engine sounds once we are. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. Very nice view there. Gotta love the wings. We'll just give it a second here as it starts, and then we'll switch to the external view. There we go.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Well, the engine sounds aren't that dramatic. Depends on the angle, I suppose. But we'll check it out in a little bit here. We'll have a better assessment of the sounds once we move the throttles. Sergio, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Is this a new A320 from Toliss, or is part of the already one that's out? Okay, so this is an add-on for the A320 CEO, which brings
disconnected.
in the
Bypass bin has been
CEO,
removed.
which
Hand
is the
signal
current
on the
engine
right.
option.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Basically, a couple of engine variants with their relevant, of course, performance and fuel system and all that, which is the IAE and CFM engines for the Airbus. Okay, so here's what I want to show you guys. First, I'm going to leave the brakes on, and we just want to listen to the sounds here. All right, not bad. Okay, not bad, but not great. And then if we go to the Toliss here, we can go to the configuration. So let me select the CFM engines. Now you have this aircraft with the CFM engines, and let's take a listen. Very subtle change in the sounds there. So yeah, we are definitely going to need a sound pack for this aircraft. All right, we're going to go back to auto. Yeah, definitely there is a change. So the sounds are not exactly the same, but I think they both can use some work. All right, so let's go here, and we are going to do auto brake max. We're going to arm the speed brakes, flaps 1. And the flaps are set. Cabin crew. And then we can go takeoff config. Ooh, look at that. It says that the engine 1 oil is a low temp, delay takeoff. Okay, that's fine. We're going to delay the takeoff. Anyway, it's going to take us a little bit of time to taxi. So hopefully by then we'll have warmed up our engines. Let's turn on the weather system here, and we are going to put the terrain on the first officer side. Everything else is looking good. And we're going to go to the transponder and set this to alt reporting off. 2000 is fine. Engine mode selector back to normal, and we can now turn off the APU bleed and APU. All right, taxi lights on, and off we go. Parking brake is released. Looks like engine 2 has warmed up, and we have to wait for engine number 1 to warm up as well. All right. Very, very nice aircraft by Toliss. All right, looks like the second engine, or engine number 1, is now ready. Cabin is ready, and we are all good to go here. So we're just going to taxi to runway 15 left for departure. This is, by the way, default scenery right now, so everything you see here is default X-Plane 12. No add-ons, no mesh, no nothing. Just plain old X-Plane, and I have to say, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, the flaps are nice for sure. TriStar Productions, welcome. I wonder if the COSP sound pack of the A321 has the CFM and IE sounds. I am not sure. I don't think so. I made sure that I download a fresh copy just to make sure. This is, by the way, a beta of the A320. So there is a beta of the A320, and obviously it's a beta release. So I made sure that I've downloaded everything fresh so that I don't run into any issues or show you something that doesn't belong to this particular update. All right, we're looking good here, and this is runway 15 left, I suppose. Yeah, that would be 15 left there. So we could actually go this way and turn back, but we can just cross the runway here for 15 left. I believe that's 15 left right there. If we bring up our Navigraph charts, and let's see here. That is 15 left we're heading to. So we're going to cross the runway here. Clear on the left, clear on the right. This version of X-Plane is really, really very, very, very compelling. And the fidelity of the weather in this version is really second to none when it comes to flight simming. The clouds, the atmospheric conditions, wind shear, turbulence, everything. Yeah. All right. We are ready for departure. Let's slow down here a little bit. And there's our turn. That's 15 left. Landing lights on. Nose line takeoff. Runway strobes. And we are ready to go. Transponder TARA. Let's start our clock. Hello, Carl. Welcome aboard, my friend. All right, let's line her up. And our rotation speed is 142 knots. Mount Flex 70 SRS and runway. engine sounds are not bad, but they're not great. Some really strong wind here. Right, V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gears going up. This is a beautiful departure out of Pearson International. All right. Let's make a turn. Thrust climb is set. Autopilot 1 engaged. Speed brake disarmed. A very nice departure, ladies and gents, from Pearson International Airport. Look at those flaps. All right, speed check, flaps up. Very nice wings. Beautiful scene here. Look at those clouds, guys, and you can see the buildings right there, the fog and the mist, and X-Plane now is just looks sensational. Very, very nice. Right, continue our climb now to our cruise altitude, 37,000 feet. All's looking good here. We are 4,000. No, we'll leave it. We'll leave the constant X. I purchased the Toliss A320 and the Flight Factor A320, but for some reason I've never been able to get the Flight Factor version to upload and function. Well, I don't recommend the Flight Factor A320. I mean, it works, but it's just really, it's very dated. And although it's been updated several times by Flight Factor, it's just not worth it, if you ask me. It was great when it first released, and I think it was one of the best add-ons and probably the best Airbus available for flight sim when it was first released. But by today's standards, just don't waste your time. Go for their 777 version 2. Yeah. Right, so all is good here. Approaching 8,000 feet. Going through the clouds. Look at those clouds, guys. Wow. This works, yeah. All right, we're approaching 9,000 feet. Landing lights off. And we are going to turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. We are 5 minutes into our flight. And look at X-Plane 12, ladies and gents, with those beautiful clouds. Wow. All right, let me see if you guys have any questions here. GX, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Roy. How are you doing today? Hello, Ginger Ninja. Hi, Q8. Hope you are doing well. No sim heaven and no auto ortho. Nope, that's default X-Plane. Ooh, 5 Alarm Fire just gifted 20 Q8 pilot memberships. Not sure why we're not getting the sounds today on stream, but thank you very much. There you go. Thank you so much. 5 Fire Alarm, thank you so very much. Guys, if you've received a membership from 5 Fire Alarm, please be sure to say thank you. 5 Alarm Fire, sorry. Thank you so much for your generosity and your kindness. I really, really appreciate it. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Thank you. Very, very kind, sir. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the support. Very classy indeed. Hello, Mr. Yusuf Sayed. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Again, thank you very much, Fire Alarm Fire. Really very, very kind of you, sir. Right, here's again a look at those beautiful wings here. And clouds. Yeah. See, now we want to talk a little bit about, you know, I know that some of you guys may not be happy with the price of this upgrade, the CEO upgrade. Here is my take on those changes, okay, or those upgrades or those add-ons. And by the way, it is no different than the Neo add-on, so it is exactly the same price, $29.95, I believe. Now, this might sound as expensive. However, if you know what is involved in creating those add-ons, and by the way, Toliss doesn't just create a visual, you know, a visual model, some 3D graphics, and update the engines. What they have done here is a full integration of the CFM and IA engines. That includes the performance, the fuel consumption, everything to do with the airflow, everything that you can think of has been factored into putting those engines here to create the most realistic and authentic experience. So in terms of the hours spent, they have definitely put in a lot of hours to bring this add-on to us. That's number one. Number two, Toliss, and we are at 18,000, so let's set the altimeter to standard. Now, Toliss, like any other, you know, flight sim developer, is a business, and in the end, it's a family that needs to put food on the table. And so, considering, you know, how long it takes Toliss to actually put something out, of course, here the fact is, welcome to Captain 5 Alarm Fire. Thank you very much for the support. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support, man. Really, very, very kind of you. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. So they are a business just like any other business, and they need to put food on the table. And so if you look at Toliss's history in releasing aircraft, they haven't really released that many. They are very focused on Airbus, and the Airbus aircraft that they've released are second to none in terms of their depth of system simulation, in terms of the fidelity of the flight model. Now, I will agree with you that their texturing and sounds are not of the highest order, and that is, you know, that is kind of true for all of their fleet of aircraft. But what you get with Airbus, and by the way, Airbus themselves is a customer of Toliss. So their aircraft are certified by Airbus, and, you know, it is really the closest you can get to what an Airbus does in real life. So considering all of these things, I don't think that the $29.95 is a big ask from Toliss. I think it's reasonable for what this add-on does, and considering everything else that I said, I think it makes sense. Dear all, remember the quality of the Toliss. They are approved by Airbus. That's right. Yeah, they are definitely approved by Airbus. Yeah. How much will this cost? So the add-on is going to cost you $29.95 if you have the A320. If you don't have the A320, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And if you purchase one or the other, so there, I think what they're going to do is they're going to make the A320 available with the CAO option as like a bundle. And then you can upgrade to the Neo and vice versa. So if you have the A320 with the Neo upgrade, then you can purchase the CAO option as an add-on. In either case, the add-on cost is going to be $29.95. And the word from Toliss is that if all goes well, this is going to be released on the 26th of September. So it's going to be, I believe, next Friday. That's when they are looking to release it. I personally think it is worth it. Now, I have to be very honest with you guys and tell you that Toliss has provided me with this add-on free of charge to test it out. I have purchased all the aircraft from Toliss in the past. I have purchased all their add-ons. But this has come as a... so it came as a preview copy from Toliss. So I didn't have to pay for it. And I have to be very upfront with you guys and let you know. Hello, Carlo. Welcome aboard. Will this be on X-Plane 11? I think so. I think it should work on X-Plane 11, yes. Because the A320 is currently available for both sims, for X-Plane 11 and 12. For me, I just use the free add-ons because I don't see that buying an aircraft for $90 is just not the best idea for me. Well, I think some share the same notion, Yusuf, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't. It really depends on what you want. I don't think there is a... with the exception of the fly-by-wire A320 in MSFS, I don't think there is a good freeware Airbus for X-Plane. You can definitely check out the A330 in X-Plane, which is a default aircraft. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's that bad. Mr. Fairy Cake, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Hello, Victor. Welcome. It would be really cool if any builds collaborate with Toliss for texturing in X-Plane 12. I honestly don't see that happening, but I could be mistaken. Toliss, I know, are working with Airsoft, and Airsoft are known for creating some, very high fidelity visuals. So I think they're collaborating on, I'm not sure what was the aircraft. Was it an A350? I can't recall, but I know they're working on something together. For Microsoft Flight Sim, by the way. Gotta love those wing views, and you gotta love those clouds in the distance. Very, very immersive. Okay, let me take a quick look here at our flight plan. So we're going to go here. So we're almost there at top of climb, about 7,000 feet. And if we go here, okay, let me just go to, all right. And then, all right, so I think we're fine. Yeah, then we have that big mess over there. Okay. The A340 is definitely a very good aircraft. Hello, Anthony. Welcome aboard. Any builds is in Microsoft back pocket. Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to elaborate, but yeah. Q8, do you recommend Say Intentions? Absolutely. I bought a membership and I find they are not great on approaches. I have had to go around on my first few flights. Well, I will tell you this. Say Intentions works really, really well. The approach is something they still, I think, struggle with. For the most part, it works, but when it gets complicated, then I think it doesn't work very well. So it's always delayed. And that's why if you use the co-pilot feature, then I think it's a lot better than if you are in command and you are talking to the ATC. It really, sometimes it really frustrates me because I'm like on final and I'm just waiting for ATC to clear me to land, and then it never comes. And then I go around and then the clearance for landing comes. So yeah, it has its glitches for sure. But I will tell you this, it has come a long way, and the developers over at Say Intentions are continuously bringing new features, improvements, fixes, and upgrades. So even if you've already purchased the membership, I think you're in good hands. And if you share the logs with them and let them know, I think they will work on fixing them. So yeah, I know there are certain situations where, like the final, like when you're on the final approach, there's like some strange SIDS and some strange stars. So on the strange stars, I think this is where it kind of just goes crazy, and it gives you like strange instructions, and then tells you to climb, then tells you to descend, and it goes all over the place. So yeah. Now I don't know if they've integrated the weather radar. We don't have bad weather to check it out, but I know that I don't know if this is Tolliss's built-in terrain radar, or they are utilizing the X-plane feature there. So I don't know. But yeah, overall, very, very nice. Speaking in Say Intentions, have you tested taxi guidance for speed? No, I have not. Hi, great flight. I have a question. Help, I don't have heat blur. Any suggestions? I tried almost everything and nothing. You mean in X-plane you don't have heat blur? Toliss will work on the radar. I see. They integrated the 12.3.2 radar in the CEO. Oh, well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it, HDSIP. And there you have it, yeah. I've got some errands to run. It was a pleasure joining in this live stream. Well, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you very much for the support, for the gifted memberships, for the super chat, and for becoming, looks like you've been a supporter of the channel for quite some time. So thank you very much, 5 Alarm Fire. Really appreciate it. And you have a pleasant day, my friend. Hello Q8, which flight simulator do you think is better in terms of simulation intensity? Not sure what that means. I find so many bugs in MS 2024 that I don't enjoy it anymore. Which version of 2024 are you using? I think the latest version is quite robust in terms of the. I don't think there are any issues like when we first started. On the ILS 25 landing in Stuttgart, where your plane crashes in a field 200 meters before the runway, I really appreciate your opinion. Where the ILS, not sure I follow that question there. Soham Sarkar, welcome. Hi Q8, I just wanted to confirm if the CEO version will work on X-Plane 11. Couldn't find any info on that. I think it will, because this is just an add-on on the on their A320, the Toliss A320, and so it should work. Yes. We have with us Neo just became a member here on the Q8 Pilot channel. A very warm welcome to you, my friend, and welcome to the Q8 Pilot family. All right, we are almost at 37,000 feet, which is our final cruise altitude today, and that is going about 5 nautical miles from the cruise altitude. And that should put us on our path now to JFK. Should be nice. Let's check the weather at JFK real quick. So we're going to go to flights and JFK. Let's take a look at the weather. We have variable winds at JFK. Visibility is 10. Few at 5,000. Few at 25,000. And the temperature is 22. Altimeter 3027. And everything there is looking good. Okay. Right, so automated station with the precipitation discriminator, sea level pressure. All right, we'll see once we get to New York. I was hoping we get a different approach so that we can see the city of New York and pass by the Statue of Liberty, but maybe some other time. Thanks a lot, Captain. Just wanted to share that I recently got type rated on the A320. I had started watching your streams even before deciding to be a pilot, which got me into flight sim in the beginning. Oh, well, Som, thank you very much for sharing this with us. I am most humbled, my friend. I'm very, very happy for you, and I am very proud to have many here on the Q8 Pilot channel that got inspired just by watching my videos and streams and tutorials, and then became real world pilots. So you've made my day, my friend. You definitely made my day. Thank you so much for sharing this, and congratulations on your type rating. Hopefully you'll take me for a flight one day. I'm not sure which airline you're with or if you're still applying, but hopefully one day I'll be on one of your flights. All right, so we are at the top of, we are at our cruise level, 37,000 feet. And if we look here, we are just 108 nautical miles. So good time for us to start entering the information for our arrival. At 90, it will say enter destination information. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go to the next page, and there we go. That's the approach page. And we have this on weather here. So the QNH is 3027, 3027. The current temperature is 22. Oh, pretty cool weather, isn't it? Well, today it was about 42 Celsius in Kuwait, but the weather is definitely cooling down, so 42 is good, as opposed to 50 and 55, so I'm quite happy with that. All right, so we've got variable wind, so we're going to put 0 and 3 there, and the transition level. Okay, so 0 for right. Let's go to 0 for right, and we are going to take note of both the platform altitude, which is 1,500 feet, and 1,500 feet, and we need, right, the decision height is 100. We'll put that there, and we are good to go. Okay, perfect. So we should begin the descent. We're about 40 minutes into our flights, into our stream, and about 26 minutes into our flight. So we should be arriving soon, 94 nautical miles before top of descent. So not much left in our flight. We can now create our, let's go to flight plan. We're going to go to Cody. We're going to go to fix information and JFK 04 right. And we are going to put a 10 nautical mile radius there. And that's for situational awareness. We're going to bring this out and we're going to go to plan. And now if we cycle through, it will show us exactly where we are. So I think it would make sense if we flew. We're not going to wait until the LaGuardia VOR. Okay. So I think, guys, what we're going to do as soon as we arrive into, let me go back here, not Lindy, but at Dour. From Dour, we'll fly direct to Zital. How about that? So we're going to go from... Yeah, I'm going to, let me bring this up here so it's easier to see. Okay, so from Dour, we are going to, we can actually go to Lindy. And then from Lindy, instead of going to the VOR, the LaGuardia VOR, we'll fly from Lindy to Zital. So let me do the following. We are going to delete this manual. We are going to delete LaGuardia, and then we're going to delete this discontinuity, and then we're going to say insert. And now we have from Lindy flying direct to Zital, and we're good here. Perfect. Okay, switch this back to ARC. And we'll put this away. And let's just quickly check 66 nautical miles before we begin the descent. We are going to reset the MCP altitude to 1,500 feet. 1,500 is set. And everything is in tip-top shape. We're going to turn on also the landing system here. And we're good here. Perfect. Are you using any ortho? No, Paul. No ortho. Only default explain. The only non-default scenery that I'm using today is that of John F. Kennedy. You'll be able to see it once we arrive, and it is that of Nimbus simulation. A great developer, Nimbus simulation. Both scenery and aircraft. They create some really very high quality add-ons. Fortunately, they don't really have that many add-ons. So, okay, all is good. Now is a good time maybe for us to also take a look at the cabin for those of you who like cabin. So this one has got a, a reasonable cabin. It's not high fidelity or anything, but representative of what an Airbus cabin should look like. And, everything is not in the highest resolution possible, but I don't really mind it. And I think it's okay to keep your FPS down. Toliss, despite the fact that they have very intricate system simulation, their aircraft are highly optimized. And so the FPS is even better than the, default aircraft in X-Plane, such as the A330 or the Zibo. It really is very easy on the frames. All right, good stuff. So, what do you guys think of the new Q8 Pilot official website? I've received some really very positive feedback. So thank you for those of you who took a look. For those of you who are interested in checking the site out and checking the new tools, The website is www.q8pilot.com. And yeah, give it a visit and let me know what you guys think. There's, of course, also my other channel, which is kind of picking up now. I'm very happy about that. The Genovate channel, which is the channel I created for generative AI tutorials, guides, and news, something completely different from what we're doing here on the Q8 Pilot channel. But I've been really having a ball with, with learning AI and really sharing the knowledge with the community. There's a lot to learn, and you got to keep up with everything that's happening, because otherwise you're going to be left behind. I don't particularly like their A320 CEO. Ooh. I like it, very easy to navigate. Thank you very much, Rand. Appreciate it, my friend. No way, I was just thinking about this just a few days ago. So excited for this bird. No offense to Flight Factor. Huh. No, Flight Factor, I think, excel in Boeing. So I think the good thing is we have Toliss is completely focused now on Airbus, and we have Flight Factor completely focused on Boeing. I know that they're going to collaborate and create an A350 version 2. I'm quite excited about that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have focus, and Ramses, the CEO of Flight Factor, is a type-rated captain on the 777. And by the way, the lead developer at Toliss, I believe, used to work at Airbus. So yeah, I really like Toliss, by the way, guys. I like them as a company. I like them as individuals. It's almost like a family business, where husband and wife and children, and they are just a gem of people. I met the lead developer over at FS Expo, and I actually spoke to his wife also on the phone. She wanted to say hello, so in 2023 I had a booth there, so he actually brought the phone and we said hello. It was a really, they're very amicable people, and I think just knowing who are behind Toliss and looking at the fidelity of their products and the system, those are the kind of people that you want to support, and they create some of the best add-ons available for flight simming. So I think they deserve all the support. Yeah. He did work at Airbus. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, and that's how he actually is very, very proficient in, in creating all those intricate systems. He's got all the manuals, I suppose, and he's able to program these into. Hope in the future FF will do a proper 787. Well, maybe Ramses can go and learn the 787, get type rated, and then build another aircraft for us. Thank you very much, Stan. Appreciate it, my friend. For those of you who are interested in AI, this is my second channel, shown here by Stan. And thank you very much, Stan. Appreciate it. Just gonna throw it out there, but I did meet Austin Meyer in Florida just last year. Ooh, pretty cool. I hear he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. I haven't met him personally. Unfortunately, in 2023, he wasn't there. And I was pretty bummed out about that because I really wanted to meet him. Back in the day in X-Plane 10, Austin we used to send him emails. We used to exchange emails with Austin. It was me, Frugal, and if you guys recall, Squirrel or Paul. Paul became a type-rated, or he actually got his PPL. But his content has shifted so much from flight simming. He's more focused on gaming, and he plays all sorts of games. He's really created a huge following. I haven't looked at his channel lately, but the three of us were in constant contact with Austin. But things change, guys. Things over the years, things change, and yeah, people drift apart for sure. Just gonna try, let's see here. I'm pretty sure FF are working on a 787. I could be wrong though. Maybe you are. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Yeah, I think I've heard something about it. He's a good guy. Was even teaching classes at FS Expo and greeting everyone. LR had a dance party one night, and apparently he was. Wow, that's cool, Stan. That's pretty cool. Since I own the Phoenix A320, how's the Toliss A320? That's great. You ask me, it's just a remarkable aircraft. All right, top of descent, 2 nautical miles. We can begin now, and let's go ahead and do a nav descent. And there we go. We have now initiated the descent into LaGuardia, and we should make it there in the next 10 minutes or so. We have been flying for exactly 37 minutes. And since we started the APU, it's been 52 minutes. So it's been a while. It's unfortunate a lot of streamers abandoned X-Plane for MSFS. Not Q8. So I will definitely remain in the X-Plane space for as long as I'm in flight simming. Austin is great to talk to as long as he's not busy. That's funny. Let me see where's the... Yeah. I find... See, I like... What I like about Austin is his way of teaching. First of all, you can see that the guy is very passionate about what he does, and he's very passionate about aviation and about flying. And he reminds me a lot of myself when, you know, I was back in college, and I used to be a math tutor, and I used to, you know, I used to explain things with the same amount of passion. Sometimes I'm like too passionate that I digress, especially when it came to things like, you know, calculus and, you know, trigonometry and things like that. Those were just like, wow, it just gave me the, it just made the blood rush through my head. I've always been a lover of teaching, and specifically math, teaching math. So, so yeah, he reminds me a lot of that time. And I remember in my last year, my graduation year, I had a professor by the name of Tariq Alamuddin, and he was the graphics expert. He used to work for NASA, so his office hours were in NASA. He used to help them do graphic visualization of the wind effect on the space shuttle wings. So he was a very brainy guy, and I asked him. He unfortunately passed away, but I asked him if it was okay for me to teach one of his classes, and he actually gave me the opportunity to teach a full semester one of his classes, which was an incredible fun and an incredible experience for me. It was really a time that I will never forget. I'm very fond of my time in the U.S. It was probably the best period of my life, and I will always fondly remember everything and every little experience there. Yeah, so back to our flight, ladies and gents. We are 28,000 feet and descending to 1,500. We are 91 nautical miles from John F. Kennedy, and we are, let's take a look at the outside real quick. Very nice looking aircraft. Look at those strobe lights. When a person is able to understand very complex topics and break them down to simple conceptual learning points, it is an intellectual freedom that is difficult to explain. You want to share it, but not everyone is capable of digesting material the same way. Absolutely. Hi Q8, I like your videos and I appreciate you. My favorite airplane I explained 12 is Toliss the 340. Okay, I'm just flying over from London to... that's somewhere in Sweden, isn't it? Greetings from Munich, Germany. Well, Rolf, thank you very much for being here, my friend. I appreciate your comments there. Thank you for being part of the Q8 pilot family. I appreciate you, my friend. I really like flying Toliss A321 variants, the A320neo, A330neo. I also love flying Phoenix A320 lines, so I think I will say no thanks to this update. Well, you've made up your mind, my friend. I think the key in figuring out how a student learns, then adjusting the material to fit that learning style. Yeah. And not a lot of teachers can do that. So I've had my share of professors that were, you know, that were just, you know, I sometimes wondered how they became professors or why they became professors, not how. But why? Because they're just like the least interested in teaching. And I remember, you know, we had a professor who wanted us to solve problems in exactly the way he wanted. And he didn't want you to come up with any different way of solving the issue. He wanted to actually see you write all the steps on the exam. And you know, when you did shortcuts, you know, he deducted points. That just really pissed me off, guys. Yeah, those were the days. That was a very long time ago. I love the mechanical and physics part of flying. Explain. I think somebody just emailed me something about the website, so thanks for that. I love mechanical physics. Explain has always integrated this well in the flight sim. It angers me that graphics are so important now. Yeah. What did you attend? Where did you attend? Fresno State? Yes, sir. I attended Cal State Northridge back in the mid-80s. Oh, yeah, I was at Cal State University Fresno. And very nice campus. Very, very nice campus at Fresno State. The Bulldogs. The Bulldog Stadium. I had a friend who lived just across from the Bulldog Stadium on Shaw and Cedar. Those were the major cross streets. I still remember it like yesterday. And we used to spend a lot of time there. We did go to the football match a couple of times. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, but I know there was like, everybody used to gather in the clubhouse where I used to live. And there was like beer and, you know, screaming and fighting, and it wasn't my thing though, but yeah, I did participate a few times. Something is bad, whether is it helpful? Yeah, thus he tends to avoid things like that. All right. So we are at 19,000, getting to 18,000. So we want to grab our altimeter right now. And the altimeter over here at JFK is 3025. So let's go 3025. There we go. And the same thing here. By the way, you can sync the altimeter from the EFB if you don't want to. So once you do it here, it will sync automatically. That you can do. It's going to be a really lovely arrival into New York. Look at those sky colors and the sun in X-plane. There we go. That's a really nice view there. That's even better. Ladies and gentlemen, as we descend to our destination, please note that the landing will be butter. Hopefully. Now, can I remove the roads in X-Plane? How can I remove the roads in X-Plane? You want to remove the roads? I don't know. What happened to Castrator? He used to be one of my flight sim streamers. Yeah. Castrator was blessed with a baby girl, and he decided that he wanted to spend time with her. He actually got his type rating. No, beg your pardon. He got his PPL. He became a real-world pilot. He was one of my favorite to watch. He's a really, really very kind person. And after he was blessed with his baby girl, he decided that he wanted to spend more quality time with his daughter, and eventually he stopped. Yeah. So Castrator was one. You have all know Thomas Rasmussen, who made a very, very brief comeback in maybe a little over a year ago. He came back and he did one video for X-Plane.org for one of the add-ons that was releasing, and he never came back to flight simming afterwards. Thomas has actually created a YouTube channel about gaming. It's in Danish, and he actually now involves his entire family, his wife and 2 daughters, they're adorable, in actually creating content on YouTube. Unfortunately it's in Danish, so I don't understand what they're saying, but yeah, Thomas has created another YouTube channel, family fun, and I really respect Thomas a lot. Thomas was one of the reasons I started in flight simming. We collaborated a lot in the past. We've created many competitions together, and I learned a lot from Thomas. He is actually, we in the flight sim community should be very grateful for all the contributions, his tutorials, and the feedback that he gave to Stick and Rudder Studios for building X camera. All those features and angles were things that Thomas had requested and asked Stick and Rudder Studios to develop them. So definitely his contributions are, until this very day, he's a legend. Thomas is a legend in this space. Then we have Frugal Sim. Frugal was he had a huge following, and I remember when he did his first look at Microsoft Flight Sim, it reached 1 million views. So the guy definitely was doing something right, and his, he was very well known for his fully loaded flights and Flight Sim News, which then he decided to stop. Frugal went through some difficult time in the US. He's originally from the UK, and he went through a divorce in the US, and that didn't sit very well with him. And so he was, I think, struggling a little bit with that. And he also, back in the UK, he had a lot of things to do. He's a developer, he's a writer, and obviously he had his family back in the UK. So he decided to quit because he lost passion for flight simming, and not only because of what I've mentioned, but because he also gotten a lot of hate on some of his videos, and people just throwing in some, oh, your show's not good, and it's this and it's that, and for him it was, he was spending a lot of time to create something that he felt was good for the community, but then he received this really bad feedback, so he decided to quit. And of course we cannot forget the legend of all legends in flight simming, the late Matt Davis. May his soul rest in peace. Unfortunately, he left us very young. Matt was the reason I started flight simming, and I was really inspired by Thomas by Matt Davis. His loss is a loss for the entire community, really, and he will be always fondly remembered. I've had very few interactions with Matt. I know that he used to watch my videos because when I used to, in his playlist, in his public playlist, he had some of my videos there pinned. So I know that he used to watch the channel, and I really liked him a lot. He was a really a very kind soul, and it is very unfortunate that he was met with a lot of hate, a lot of bullying from the community. But he will always be fondly remembered, and he will be never forgotten. So yeah, so that's a little bit on those who left the scene. And I know there's plenty of content creators today, but those legends I don't think will ever repeat. I don't think there will be anyone who is going to come and fill the void that Matt Davis leaves, for example. So yeah. All right, so we are approaching JFK now, and we can see here the beautiful city of New York. Ahead of us, there's the Statue of Liberty to our right, and the beautiful city of New York ahead of us right there. Things are looking good. We are at 6,000 feet, and we are looking good. Okay, let's switch to the external view and take the look here at the beautiful scene here as we arrive into New York. Yeah, there's another aircraft right over there, and this is actually not bad, guys. Considering this is default scenery, this is not bad for sure. Here's a nice wing view over the city of New York. A little bit of pausing there, some stuttering. Please don't crash. Thank you very much. I explained. Here's another wing view. Very nice indeed. Look at the road traffic there. Let's switch to the external view, and now you can see the city of New York. There's the Statue of Liberty right there. That is a really nice scene. You can see the bridge, the lighting. Yeah. Very nice indeed. All right. Let's focus on our flight now. We are almost there, and I think we need to bring the speed brakes up. Our speed is increasing. And let's see here. Auto brake to medium. We're going to arm the speed brake. Now let's leave that for the time being and slow the aircraft down. We're going to switch this to 10. And all right. So a little bit of pausing here. Hopefully it doesn't crash. We're looking good. We are into the 10 nautical mile ring. So not very far now from our destination. And the airport should be to our left. All right, here's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to come here and I'm going to say activate approach phase. As we are getting pretty close now. All right, and we are going to go speed check, flaps 1. Very good. Just a beautiful scene here at JFK. Very nice indeed. All right. We're looking good here. Speed is decreasing. All right, cabin crew, cease for landing. right. Let's arm the speed brake. Guys, look at this view. Wow. Looks gorgeous. All right. We are going to extend the speed brake here a little bit. All right, speed check, flaps 2. And landing gear coming down. Wow, that is a beautiful sight. And approach. Speed check, flaps 3. And speed check, flaps 4. Right, we should begin our turn. There's the runway. Look at this scene, guys. Wow. That's us right there. That is going to be a beautiful approach into 04 right. Check it out. And we have the runway in sight. We probably deployed the gear a little bit early, but I wanted to make sure that we reduce our speed before the turn. And we can see a lot of boats here. There's an aircraft carrier and some speedboats. Some, yeah, people are having fun. That is a really, really nice approach. And the time of day is just amazing. With those lights in the distance. Wow, look at that. You can see those speedboats right there. That's pretty cool. All right, let's focus on our lights here, and everything is configured. We are clear to land. Cabin is ready. The flyby is not slower. That's shift and 1. It's a cinematic flyby. Shift and 2 is the fast one that you guys are accustomed to. All right, let me reset my view. And this is something I really have a lot of appreciation for. It looks gorgeous, guys. Wow. Right, 1,000 feet, we'll disconnect the autopilot. I will hand fly the aircraft, and I hope I can butter it for you this time. I'll watch the landing, then off to bed. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna land it first, then go to bed. Wow, this looks so nice, guys. Look at that. Look at this view. Wow, the sky color is just amazing. All right, let's see here. Very, very immersive. Beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. think we're at 1,000 feet now. Yeah, we missed the alert, so let me just go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. Autopilot disconnected, my aircraft. Again, you want to make slight changes with the Airbus fly-by-wire.
$500. 400. 300. 200.
100 above.
100.
Minimum.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard. Retard.
10.
5.
And reverse green. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JFK. All right, annual braking, very nice runway lights. Wow, beautiful. All right, let's take a look at our landing.
Retard.
100.
Yeah, the runway texturing is really, really nice. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. Look at this, guys. X-Plane 12.3. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? We have to do it a few more times, guys. And there's my favorite view. It was a bit firm, wasn't it? Check it out. Look at this view, guys. Wow. Look at the runway lights. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. All right, there we go. Right, let's retract the flaps. Runway turn off lights off, landing lights off, nose light to taxi, strobe to auto, and let's start the, Where did I go? Let's start the APU. There we go. C brake disarmed. When you land like that, you make it easier for the brakes. Ooh, I think the landing goes 100% fine. Thanks very much, Carl. Appreciate it coming from you. Gives me a lot of comfort. And welcome to John F. Kennedy Airport in the US of A. A beautiful rendition of JFK for X-Plane by Nimbus Simulation Studios. Well, guys, I'll tell you, I am all for this CEO update from Toliss. I think for those of you who really like the current engine option, the IAE and the CFM engines, this is a must-have. If, however, you are, a casual flyer, you don't really mind, and you already have then maybe this update is not for you. For me, I definitely, for those of you who like the CFM and IE engines, definitely worth it in my view. And it's just so much fun flying Toliss and X-Plane. The fly-by-wire is incredibly accurate in the Toliss aircraft. All right, here we are. We're going to head over to the terminal. We're just going to pick any suitable spot and bring the aircraft to a stop. I think we have the APU running. Perfect. Very, very nice rendition of JFK, especially nighttime. I love the night approach now in X-Plane. It just looks, or maybe dusk. During dusk, it looks just sensational. Very, very nice indeed. All right, we're going to take stand 14 Alpha right here. All right, and parking brake set. We're going to turn on the APU bleed, and we can turn off the taxi lights, and let's kill the engines. All right, let's wait. And 2. All right, and we can now turn off the beacon light. Beacon light off. And there you go. There you have it, ladies and gents. The Toliss A320 CEO, current engine option. This was really a fun flight. And I really enjoyed all the interaction with you guys during this stream. I will be back with you guys again on Tuesday, where we will be streaming again, maybe in X-Plane again. I don't know if I'm gonna go for Microsoft Flight Sim, but we'll see, guys. But for now, I'm just really having a good time with X-Plane and with everything, with all the updates. It's just really looking gorgeous. The night lighting, the clouds. And now we have a brand new add-on for the Toliss aircraft, one of the highest fidelity Airbus simulations available for flight simming today. So things are good for X-Plane. Very good times for X-Plane for sure. And I want to thank you very much here, guys, for being in chat, for all the interaction, all the support, all the fun facts, all the questions, and for teaching me as well a few things along the way. I really appreciate it. And until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and have a lovely day.